Hey everyone, welcome to this full moon Sidereal astrology forecast for the full moon on Friday, July 23rd, 2021. All right, so we have a full moon right in between the constellations of Sagittarius and Capricorn. If you were expecting me to say Aquarius just then, be sure to check out that link down below for more information. We are using the visible sky on this channel called True Sidereal Astrology, and it does change the signs from mainstream astrology. All right, so full moon, the halfway point of the lunar month, great time to do a status check. How has the past couple weeks been going in our lives? Are there some shifts and changes perhaps we may want to make? And with these two constellations, with Capricorn, I think it's great to do a status check with how has our achievement-oriented side, have we been, is there anything we can do to accomplish and to really think long-term? But the Sagittarius energy is a bit strong as well, so how can we still expand our perception to possibilities? So having that more expansive view, but also contracting view of Sagittarius and Capricorn, which keeps things both open-minded and constructive. Now the full moon will be somewhat conjunct Pluto, so there is some deep things coming up from this week and during the full moon. So a great time of doing things like healing and maybe deep diving with ourselves, our relationships, just life in general, and that can lead to a lot of personal empowerment and transformation. So with this, the full moon will be opposite Mercury as well, and so communication is a major theme. Is there anything we can perhaps dive deep with communications and just getting into more of that learning, interested and willing to share and exchange type of energy in our lives. So let's go and take a look at all of this here in more detail when we return. Alrighty, so here is the chart for this full moon. So again, it will be on Friday, July 23rd. The exact time of this will be 21:58 Eastern time of the Americas, if you do want to make that calculation for wherever you are in the world. But for all intents and purposes, it will be around the Friday time period. All right, and as you can see here, we are using the visible sky, the uneven sizes of the constellations as you would see them. And so the signs do change. This is a part of the sky where there is quite a difference between the mainstream astrology, which unfortunately does not use the visible sky, and this system. So they are saying it's in Aquarius, but if you do look up at the sky, you will see it right in between Sagittarius and Capricorn. So if you are new to this channel, definitely check out that link down below for more information. All right, so full moon, it is the heightened energy of the lunar cycle. I think as we approach the full moon, we're probably noticing some more heightened energy, maybe some momentum. And what usually comes in with the full moon is a shift of perspective. It's that sun light bouncing off the moon. We get this greater understanding, bigger picture view of life, and it's a great time to do a status check. How has the past 2 weeks been going? If there's been any new things you have implemented from over the past 2 weeks, great to do a status check with those, see how they're going, and maybe make some shifts and changes to further develop this energy. And a lot of this is going to be in the context of both Sagittarius, the planet of expansion, possibilities, thinking big, but also Capricorn, which is also big picture, but it is about taking time with things. It's very much about patience, discipline, and climbing that mountain of long-term plans and seeing things through for the bigger picture there. So great to do this. I think it's a great time to see how is our open-minded side with Sagittarius. Are we still thinking big? Are we seeing potentials? And with Capricorn, are we actually implementing them in a long-term sort of way? Are we cultivating our perseverance, right? Our patience, our own discipline, right? To climb that mountain, which is the sea goat of Capricorn, to further develop these things. So again, both these constellations do share the context of bigger picture stuff. You could say they're in a sense polarities. They're ruled by expansive Jupiter and contracting Saturn. And so it is very much about manifestation. And it's both principles of manifestation. Sagittarius is believe it and it'll become true. Embody it, envision it, right? Manifestation, feel it, listen to that spirit. But Capricorn's the manifestation of work hard and it pays off. Be patient, right? Put in discipline and it'll pay off. So the more fiery yet grounded energies, both dealing with long-term, bigger picture things in our life that we can cultivate moving forward. So great to see how are these sides of ourselves with these two constellations. Now, it is somewhat close to Pluto. So Pluto is the ruler of the underworld, bringing deep things to the surface. And so with this, I think particularly from the Sagittarius side of it about our beliefs, how can we really dive deep with our own beliefs, our own perspective on life, and perhaps make some of these shifts and changes. Pluto is very much about transformation, oftentimes having to face fears or empower ourselves in some way, to cultivate those possibilities, but likely in a way that feels empowering or feels like facing some fears or making some transformations and changes that deep down we do know we need to make. So it's a great time of just bringing things to the surface, both within and without, to excavate, right, to bring light to this stuff, and anything that does involve personal empowerment, also healing, transformation, research, deep diving, personally and interpersonally, I think is a great hallmark of this full moon. Now we'll be opposite Mercury, who's finishing up Gemini this week, and so our minds are still very much in the practical realms, and Mercury rules things like our mind and our communications. So I think it's a great time to also see how can we get into that interested side of ourself, right? And this balances out the Sagittarius. Sagittarius is more abstract, more bigger picture. Gemini is very practical, left side of the brain type of stuff. So great to see how can we be willing to learn, be interested, and a lot of this can be a bit social as well. So opening up lines of communication, give and take, exchanging, listening and, so receiving and giving when it comes to the communication process. Again, likely in that deeper way, bringing deep things to the surface, I think is also great with this full moon. Now, of course, with all full moons, it is about balance because it's always opposite the sun. And so remembering too that the sun is in Cancer at this time. And so the view of life at the moment is about creating a protective environment for ourselves and others. So it's a great time to see how can we be caring and nurturing and protective for ourselves, right? Create that safe, secure environment to connect to the more emotional elements, our soul, our roots, our feelings, but also interpersonally as well, getting into our caring and nurturing and protective side for others as well could be great. And that helps balance out the Capricorn energy. Capricorn is more of the colder energy. It's more about what's going to take time, right? It's more of the stick, so to speak, of hard work. But to balance that out, it's great to connect to what really is important to us emotionally in life. How can we connect to our feelings, our bodies, right, and stay grounded in that sense as well. So yeah, it really is the axes of the bigger picture and the more fundamental elements. The bigger picture is the possibilities with Sagittarius, the long-term road with Capricorn, balanced out with the personal stuff, emotions, feeling, the personal life, right, and being interested in learning and communication. So those are the most important things with the full moon. I do want to mention that Jupiter, since Jupiter does rule Sagittarius, he's still in Aquarius. So it is great to, when it comes to expanding those horizons, think about things regarding the future, possibilities and potentials there with the future. Now, keep in mind, a lot of these planets are retrograde. Anytime you have an outer planet opposite the sun, it's going to be retrograde. So there's a lot of outer planets retrograde at the moment. And so it is, a time of the year, let's say, of still kind of rethinking, reevaluating things from the bigger picture, let's say. And so being flexible during this full moon, I think, is fantastic as well. All right, everyone. So pretty straightforward. That is the full moon. Most important thing is status check. How is the energy from the past 2 weeks or even 6 months of our life going? How can we continue to be open-minded and empower ourselves to transform our beliefs and possibilities while thinking about the future with Jupiter and Aquarius, and maybe even collective matters as well? And how can we, expand, but also be willing to take time, right, with things to accomplish for the long term, to take things one step at a time, and persevere through the more denser grounding elements as well. To balance all that out with connecting to what's important to us emotionally, those things and people, and getting into that caring and nurturing side for ourselves and others, as well as just simply being interested, whether it's personally through picking up that book, reading, writing, but also interpersonally, being willing to share and exchange with others, communication, develop our communication. Things like this is fantastic. All right, so everyone have a fantastic full moon. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click that like button if you haven't yet. If you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to check out the link down below for MTZ Insiders. It is a newsletter, and these videos do get released first for the insiders. It's absolutely free. But yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for all of your support. Hope this video was helpful, and I'll see you all next time for the next astrology update. Take care.